Hi everybody, welcome back to the call in Birmingham, and I've been joined by Yorgos Samaras, right, champion for Greece, 2021, finalist 2022, an awesome accolade to have. Battle Hardens, Pro Tour Lille.
Pro Tour Lille, yes, the calling in Antwerp, calling. I mean, I've been following the European scene a lot, and I'm always trying to be a top contender, at least in construct.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough staying at the top. There's fantastic players all around Europe, you know, and we see that with Pablo and the other players from Spain. If you can keep up with them, fair play. But you've been on pretty much every day. So for people who don't know Yorgos, he has a Twitch channel. What's the channel name?
It's Fab Chaos.
Fab Chaos. Please follow it. You're pretty much on every day. I think for the call in Birmingham, it was like, what, 12, 13 days, 14 days you were on?
I mean, it was an off season, you know, and I had the time, and I really wanted to, you know, delve deep into this new format that we have with, you know, all the changes that happen. And it was pretty interesting to try and explore and find the actual hero to play. I still ended up on the most obvious choice, which is Guardian, but, you know, I mean, you know, they say something about learning new tricks and stuff.
Because you won the Greek Nationals, the first one with Oldham.
I mean, I have been playing Oldham since then, like in every single event. I mean, I've never really changed the deck since then. But, you know, Bravo is the best thing we can get, the second best thing we can get.
He's got Starstruck. It's a flipping brilliant card. He's just like, oh, we can keep the pain train rolling here. I've got such high numbers now. You know, and if you can keep that seismic surge ticking over, yeah, fair play.
And I also think it's really important to this new type of format to have something that you're familiar, because, I mean, right now the meta is super diverse. And that's probably the most interesting part about calling Birmingham, is that we haven't seen many big events yet. So the meta game is super weird. Nobody knows what to expect. Nobody knows what most decks looks like. And I think that's the better reason to have a deck that you're familiar with. Yeah.
Thing is, every other season that it's changed. Like normally when a new set comes out, people go super aggro. But every other set that's come out, you know, for the last couple of years, last couple of times, Oldham has been there. So it's sort of like you go, I'm going to go super aggro. Yeah, it's going to be brilliant. I'm going to smash everyone out of my way. And then you get everyone who turns up with Oldham just going, none shall pass. It's my time. Do you not know? You fool.
Yeah, all you had to do was wait a month and see how the metagame was going to evolve, and, you know, just adapt it, because, you know, the best thing about Oldham was that you had the answers to everything. So you just had to adapt to what the people were playing. It's not so easy with Bravo, but, I mean, I'm really excited with Dusk Dawn, and I still think that we have a lot of new things to see in national seasons as well.
Yeah. So what are you trying to avoid? Is it Dromai, or is it which big hitter?
Probably I want to not play things I'm not familiar with. I mean, with a weird build, there's something not to expect. But I guess the deck I fear the most has to be Levia.
Okay.
The deck I fear the most has to be Levia.
And why is that?
I think it's a really hard matchup for Bravo to deal with a deck that has a consistent big damage output. And now Levia, it's way harder for her to, you know, kill herself.
Yeah, because the old adage was, you don't beat Levia, Levia beats herself.
Exactly. I mean, I've played a lot of games with Levia, and with Oldham, the same thing happened most of the time. At some point, they killed themselves. That cannot really happen now. So it's way harder to navigate a game against Levia.
Do you get to the point where they change to consumed, and then you switch to fatiguing them out and just go, you hope that they have a high blood debt count, so you just go, if I can survive this round, then I know that you're just banishing a shed ton of cards and putting them face down. Is that where you change, or you just carry on doing the Bravo thing?
This is it really depends on how the opponent approaches the matchup, but totally a game plan is to try and let them bleed out. But it's not super effective, because the experienced Levia players will try to play around that a bit. I mean, that's what I'm most scared of, a really experienced Levia player that might manipulate the way so we never get to this, you know, game state where this is actually a problem or it's relevant.
Yeah, I mean, certainly we've see the results from Battle Hardened, like Cincinnati, Pat Eshke, I mean, he piloted Levia to the top 8. I think it was Jesse that took it to the top 8 for Chicago. So there was certainly, like, you know, a huge following. Mansan, you know, is behind it. You know, bringing, you know, Levia in and trying to define what she can do in this new meta. So, you know, maybe there are some European, you know, league, you know, in the League of Levia, it's just like, yep, we're on the pat plan. You know, we know what to do. Let's get back to your Twitch stream. So 14 days you've been streaming. You haven't really stuck on Bravo. I mean, I tune in, and it's just like, okay, what you on today? And you kind of like, oh, today I'm starting on Bolton, or today I'm starting on Levia, and you kind of like, normally it's like 2 heroes. You kind of, sometimes you concentrate on one hero, sometimes you kind of go, yeah, okay, I've played this enough, it's not really working, I'll switch to the other. But you have pretty much played what I would say like the top emerging heroes, you know, or tried out. Like Bolton, you really tried out. You know, whether or not he's going to be good enough, he certainly hasn't made the top 8 in the last 2 Battle Hardens.
Yeah.
The meta is just all over the place, and maybe somebody has got a secret sauce somewhere. I really hope that Bolton does a little bit better. I'm not a Bolton main, but I just, you know what I mean? You're just like, this set has got so many new cards that you can't just, you want him to do well. You're just like, come on, boy, you know, get up there with everybody else. But I mean, you gave it a good go for a few shows.
I mean, Bolton is in a really interesting spot at the moment, but I think, again, it has the problem that Bolton might need a bit more of a figure-out meta game. He needs to know a bit more what he's going to play against, and he doesn't really enjoy this super widespread, because he needs to know if he needs to tech versus Highlander, he needs to know if he needs to tech with a lot of defense reactions, for instance. But I think Bolton and most of the new decks are real decks, but maybe it's just not the right time for them yet. Or again, they might need a more solved out metagame, because honestly, the deck I've been most impressed with, even though we haven't seen many good results yet, has to be like Vincent. I mean, I think Vincent really has the power level there, but it's so hard for these newer decks to know exactly what to play. I mean, that's not the case with older decks like Highlander or Bravo, that, okay, you know the game plan, you know the sideboard, you know 80%, so it's way easier to fill out the 20%. Now, you start at 30%, you start at 40%, and you need to fill out the rest. It's not as easy, and I think that's also a reason why we see not so many results. I don't think so much that it's a power level problem.
Do you think that Vincent's in a better place than Viceroy? I mean, I played against Vincent the other day, and I was just like, how many rune chance are you coming in for? Oh, six rune chance and 6 power from this widespread destruction. You're like, okay, banish a card. Next round, I've got 6 rune chance and 6 again. And I'm just like, oh my god, you know, this is real.
Yeah, I mean, what Vincent can do sometimes is insane. The math behind her lines is insane, but it's not easy, it's not consistent, it's all these problems we know. And I think she might have some traditionally really bad matchups, so unless, you know, Dromai maybe leaves the meta game, or, you know, Bravo does not have all this life gain and stuff, if these things move out of the meta game, she might have a better chance to know, or in a more narrow environment that she knows how to build her deck, she might have a way better performance.
Right, brilliant. Thank you so much for coming on. It's a pleasure meeting you.
Thank you for having you.
I'm like a little troll in the background on your thing. I kind of sit there just watching and going, I don't comment. But check out Fab Chaos. Oh, it's so funny. Yorgos is so entertaining. It's so hard to talk when you don't have someone to bounce off of. Like, you know, it's not a two-way conversation. It's just like I'm talking to the screen, and you hope that people are replying and giving comments, and that's where you can get your feedback from. But you are so entertaining.
Thank you very much.
You lose the plot when a card's in there that's not working, and you're like, who put this card in? Who would put this card in? This card is rubbish. And you're like, you did, Yorgos. It's just like, yeah, it's awesome. I sit there, I've got it, I'm working, I've got your stream on, and I am absolutely just wetting myself. It's just like, it's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So thank you so much. I've finally got to meet you.
Nice meeting you. So good luck.